Okay, my friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited you're joining me here for this video. If you're new here, my name is Katrina Kofed. I'm an ACE certified health coach and a nutritionist, and I specialize in food psychology, helping people overcome and recover from binge eating and emotional eating, helping you break free from diet culture and create sustainable habits that truly last for life. So today brings you to part 2 of my series, Diet Culture Debunked. And this is a highly requested video. Today I'm going to be talking about Herbalife and whether or not Herbalife's products are good. What do I think of their products? What do I think of their claims? Would I personally use their products? And would I recommend them to clients, right? I have gotten so much conversation and so much feedback both on TikTok and Instagram from you guys about Herbalife and about the products, about the teas, about the shakes. My mom, my aunt's friend's sister distributes them, whatever the case may be. And I think Herbalife might be one of the most well-known diet products out there, and I think we've all seen them around for a while. So I was really excited to do a deep dive. I think I have a cat hair on my face. Yep, I told you, if you see a cat hair on me, you know where it's coming from. But I was really excited to do a deep dive in today's video because I think there's a lot that's similar about Herbalife to Optavia. And if you haven't watched my Diet Culture Debunked video talking about Optavia, I will link it here in the show notes below, and I'll link it in the caption below. And I encourage you to check that out because that one's really interesting and we see a lot of overlap here. So I have some notes ready that I'm going to be looking at while I am talking. So we're going to be discussing a couple different claims here in this video and evaluating them based on what Herbalife's products and ingredients actually are. So number one is that Herbalife claims that their products are scientifically proven to help people with weight loss. Is that really the case? Let's take a look at a couple of these research studies that Herbalife has conducted. And then the second thing we're going to be looking at is what's actually in the products. Okay, what are the ingredients? And this one's interesting because I was not surprised to find, but when I was doing the research leading up to this video, I was shocked. So I'll share that with you when we get there. Number 3, do their products actually help with weight loss? So let's dive into it, and let's start off by evaluating the studies that Herbalife has conducted and determine if they really tell us anything about the efficacy of the Herbalife products. So let's talk about whether or not Herbalife actually is evidence-based and, as they like to say, proven and supported by science. So the studies that I mentioned earlier, I actually wasn't able to find them again when I looked through Herbalife's website, and when I searched on Google Scholar, what comes up for Herbalife research articles is all of the claims and research that has been done about liver toxicity as a result of using Herbalife products. So that should tell you a little something, just that the quality of Herbalife products may not always be what they promise. Now, Herbalife on their website, when you scour through all of the about and the information section, they have a really nice marketing video that I'll show here in the corner, and we can kind of see some glimpses of it. But it tells you that they use the best quality ingredients from local farmers, and they ensure great manufacturing processes, and they ensure that their manufacturing warehouses meet certain standards, which is great. That's important, right? That our manufacturing warehouses meet standards that are our industry standard. However, that does not equate to a supplement or a food product being third-party lab tested, okay? And I think there have been a lot of discussion and claims, and especially with all the reports of liver toxicity about Herbalife products, that they have been criticized for not being third-party tested. And that's really important for any supplement. This doesn't just go for Herbalife, but the thing with a lot of protein powders, a lot of supplements, powder, tea, drinks like that, is that there can be a lot of additives in them, or they can be high in heavy metals, or just other ingredients that we don't know about because they're not always listed on the ingredients label. So that's definitely something I always caution to keep an eye out for, and that's why I would only really recommend protein powders or supplements that do their own independent third-party lab testing, because that's kind of that stamp of integrity that shows, hey, we want to show the consumer that we care a lot about the quality of this product and that you're not getting some mystery ingredients, potentially heavy metals, mixed in with your protein powder that you think you're buying, right? So to me, it just is, it's a lot of like, how do you say it? It's just a lot of talk. It's all talk, not much walk, okay? That being said, I think we can move on to claim number 2. But to evaluate claim number 1, it's not looking good on any type of scientific accuracy. They say they've had doctors and dietitians, formulate and review their products, which I'm sure they have. But to me, as a nutritionist, it's a major red flag when a food and supplement, manufacturing company can't produce any of their actual research that they've done. And therefore, I don't want to talk about the articles that I'd seen earlier because I can't find them anywhere again to reference to you. So all of this to say, to me, there's not really any evidence that Herbalife is open in sharing whatever scientific research they may have conducted. That is not something we necessarily need from a food product, and supplement company. However, what I think is crucial here is that it's a huge part of their claim that they're like, yeah, our weight loss products are evidence-based and they're scientifically proven to work. Okay, well then, not show me the money, but show me the research, right? If that's the case, then where are these studies that you've conducted? So I don't think we need research for every single type of supplement that we buy. I mean, yes, you should have a reason you're taking a supplement, but I mean, if you're gonna make big claims like that, like our products lead to weight loss, you need something to back it up for sure. So that leads us to our next point. What's actually in the products? Now, Herbalife sells a lot of different types of products, so I just want to focus on a couple specific ones that I got a lot of questions about. Number 1 is, of course, the protein powder, which we're going to review here in a second. I also got a lot of questions about the Herbalife teas. They make like these little teas in powder packets. And then we're going to review the protein bars. However, I think it's worth noting that they make a lot of fat loss accelerating products as well. They make a pre-workout. I think they make like a protein pancake mix, so very similar to a lot of the stuff we saw from Optavia. Herbalife has very similar types of products as well. And you guessed it, they're very overpriced and probably don't taste too great. I have heard a few people in my comments on TikTok and Instagram telling me that the Herbalife teas are really good, which I believe, but it's pretty easy to make a good tea these days. I don't know. I can't speak to the protein powder because I haven't personally tried it. But let's look at the ingredients and discuss. So, okay, first up, we're looking at the Herbalife Nutrition Formula 1 Select Vanilla Protein Powder. And it's a nutritional shake mix, which I think is really interesting. So I need to see if they have like a higher protein powder as well. But I was impressed to see this, you guys, that it's a specially formulated blend with a plant-based blend of pea, quinoa, and rice proteins. Which has definitely changed because I can tell you years ago, I remember seeing Herbalife protein powder and they were made with whey protein isolate, soy protein isolate, and like corn syrup solids. So I'm very pleased to see that at least the protein powders have been reformulated because those are definitely higher quality plant proteins that are easier in the digestive system and they tend to be higher quality protein just in terms of the sourcing and the ingredients, okay? So does that mean I would recommend Herbalife? No, but the products aren't as bad as I thought they were going to be, so that's a big deal. So I'm really pleased to see that at least they've updated their products. What is a huge red flag to me when I was looking at this before recording is that there is nowhere on their website where you can read the full ingredients. So I'm scrolling around here. It tells me key benefits. It says certified gluten-free. It says usage. Okay, and then it says more details. So if I click here on more details, it takes me back to the overview. So I had no idea that you were even allowed to sell a product online without sharing the ingredients, but I don't know if that's because it's like a private company, I don't think they have to do that, which is just crazy to me. I would never buy or recommend anything without being able to look at the ingredients. So huge red flag to me right off the bat that they don't even offer up their ingredients for scrutinization by potential customers because hello, the ingredients are so good, why won't you let people read about them? That's very concerning. So I did manage to find the ingredients for this protein powder, so let's look at it. Okay, so what's funny is that the way I'm finding the ingredients for this is literally looking at the Herbalife product on Amazon. And let's also talk about the price. So this is 750 grams and it's $47 on Amazon. On the Herbalife website, it is $62.50. So it's definitely like, it's not a cheap protein powder by any means. So finally, we're looking at the ingredients here. Let's pull them up. And what's very interesting to see is that this is the powder, the protein powder I remember that I was just telling you about. This has soy protein isolate, artificial vanilla flavor. Let's see what else is in there. Oh, it's so small. Canola oil, don't love that. Inulin fiber. I mean, overall, the rest of the ingredients are fine. It does contain casein, so it's not dairy free. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. Is it the best thing I've ever seen? Definitely not. And I also think what we should definitely note here is the price. So the price of this one on Amazon is $47, and it contains 30 servings, and each serving is 90 calories and has only 9 grams of protein. So you're paying, what, $47? You're paying a premium for a protein powder that doesn't have very much protein. And to be fair, I do think they call it more of like a meal replacement. It's a shake mix, okay, excuse me. And they recommend serving it with 8 ounces of non-fat milk, like blended up, and that's how you get a higher protein content, which is just kind of ridiculous. Like if you're making a protein powder, it should just be a protein powder. So I find it really interesting that it's so difficult to find. Obviously they've reformulated the product because now it contains this blend of pea, quinoa, and rice protein, which is great, but it's still, it seems impossible to find the new ingredients list, which again, major red flag, super concerning to me. I can't even find the nutrition facts. So overall, would I personally spend my money on this? Absolutely not. I can find a much higher quality and more affordable protein powder from a company that's been, you know, independent third-party lab tested. And one that, I don't know, I can't speak to how these taste, but I use protein powders at home that are really delicious and that I like a lot. So for like half the price of these products. So it's a major no for me. I can't recommend it without having looked at the ingredients, and since they don't really seem to share the ingredients, red flag, moving on. Let's take a look at these teas. Okay, so here's the herbal tea concentrate in the flavor lemon. Now, can we just talk about this? So it's 100 packets, but the price is literally $100. So it's like $1 per thing of tea, which is, I guess, okay if you really love it, but it just seems like a bit steep for tea when you can literally buy tea bags for maybe 20 cents a tea bag. I don't know. I mean, again, there's no ingredients list anywhere. Let's see if we can find the ingredients. Okay, so again, we're back to Amazon to look at the ingredients because the ingredients don't really seem to be found anywhere else online. So this is definitely seems like a different formulation. It might be a more outdated one, since that kind of seems to be the what seems to be like on brand for them right now. So let's see here. It's pretty difficult to look at the ingredients. Maltodextrin, tea extract, green tea extract, natural caffeine powder, acesulfame K, which I should make a separate video about artificial sweeteners. I think it's fine to have artificial sweeteners from time to time. I don't think there's enough evidence showing that they are harmful as we thought. So side note there, I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. However, they do contain a lot of caffeine, but it still doesn't say anywhere here on the packet or on the thing how much caffeine is in them. Oh, there we go. It says this product contains approximately 85 milligrams of caffeine per what? Per serving? Yeah, per serving. So, okay, and let me just tell you, a serving is only half a teaspoon. So a serving's not very much. So I think it could be very easy to end up, you know, consuming like a lot of caffeine with these drinks. And let's say you're having like 2 or 3 of these teas a day, that can easily add up to like almost 250 grams of caffeine, which is a lot, you guys. It's a lot. So overall, the tea I think is okay. The amount of caffeine in it is a little jarring. I think they kind of use caffeine as just like a stimulant and a supposed fat burner, since there is some evidence to show that caffeine intake can help you burn more fat. I think it's like kind of an overpriced product. You know, if you want something as a stimulant, you can just drink regular tea, or you could drink coffee if you want. Obviously, if you're drinking tea, you probably don't want coffee. However, I don't think this is as much of an offender as the other protein powder that we looked at. That being said, again, we don't know what else is in this product along with the ingredients list, right? I also don't know, since it seems like they reformulated, who knows what's in the new version, right? And this is again why it's really important just to make sure that the products we're taking are independent, third-party lab tested. Because you just don't know what else could be in there. Now, with those claims of liver toxicity about Herbalife products, I'm not sure what products those were specifically. Is it the teas? Is it the protein powders? What is it? However, typically what happens with these concentrated powders is that, you know, they're very concentrated. So if there are heavy metals in there, it's probably a higher quantity. So all of that to say, I don't know anything for sure, but that to me as a nutritionist is enough of a red flag to say there's no way I would recommend this, because we just don't know. Like, there's just not enough information to go off of, and the little information there isn't super promising. So all of this to say, I think we can conclude that the company as a whole isn't super upfront with their ingredients to consumers, and to me that's just like such a big red flag. Based on that alone, I would not recommend them to clients or to my audience. I think it's just so important in the space of protein powders and nutritional supplements that you are so transparent with your consumers. You tell them about the testing you do, you show your research trials that you've conducted to prove the efficacy of your products, you know, if that's what you're going to be going for, that type of thing. So in a world, in an industry where there are so many cases of protein powders and supplements with heavy metals or other, you know, unknown ingredients in them, it's just very concerning. Things like liver toxicity, it's going to be a no for me. You know, it's just not even something you want to take the risk of, because that's such a serious health risk, right? So I think right off the bat, I just wouldn't recommend them, and I would be cautious ever, you know, taking the products. That being said, if you really like Herbalife products, as always, you guys, you're free to do whatever you want, whatever you feel is best for you. I do think that there are more affordable and potentially higher quality products on the market, just in regards to things that, you know, haven't been found to increase risk for liver toxicity. It's really up to you to make whatever choice you feel is best for you at the end of the day. Let's talk about whether or not Herbalife actually helps people lose weight, because that's their whole shtick, is that all their products help you lose weight. And two, I didn't even mention this earlier, but so the way Herbalife works is that it's a multi-level marketing structure where you can only buy the products from a distributor, right? So distributors will sell you the products, which I think is part of why they cost so much, is because there's a lot of just people involved in the sales process. I can't really speak to that, but then they also, some distributors and Herbalife coaches will open nutrition clubs, okay? And this is the part I have a lot of beef with, because they're opening nutrition clubs and they sell shakes and teas with like Herbalife protein powders and Herbalife teas. Now, that is concerning right off the bat, because again, we don't even like know what's in the ingredients, because the ingredients apparently are undisclosed online. Red flag. Number two, reports of potential for liver toxicity. Red flag number two. And to be fair, I mean, I guess if you're going out to eat somewhere, you don't always know what's in the food, but it is more concerning because when we take something like a protein powder or a tea, like I said earlier, those products are very concentrated and they are very highly processed. And it's not so much a problem that they're highly processed, you know, other foods are highly processed too. It's just more like what can be added in during that process, right? Whereas if you go out to a restaurant and you're having like, I don't know, Chinese food, for example, you're probably having noodles and meat and maybe some vegetables and probably some oils and sauces, but all of that is food. So it hasn't been like highly concentrated into a powder, which just makes it easier to get a larger quantity of anything potentially harmful that could be in that. I hope that makes sense. So all that to say, nutrition clubs, I don't love it, because I think they're selling people, you know, as like, oh, this is a healthy protein shake, but in reality, it's like, who knows what's in there, right? And then number two, Herbalife coaches give a lot of advice that is just not backed up by science. They don't often, I would say almost never I've never seen an Herbalife coach with any type of credentials, any type of science or health science background, any type of nutrition background. That's not to say they don't exist. I just haven't encountered them. I just think the barrier to entry to sell Herbalife products is really low. So you can, you know, go on a weight loss journey, sell Herbalife products, become a coach, and then like, there you go. As long as you can sell the products and market weight loss to people, you have a sustainable business. I don't know how sustainable it is. But my other beef with that is that you are, you know, we have these uneducated I mean, frankly, just very uneducated people giving people weight loss and health advice, and they don't understand the ramifications of the advice they're giving, right? And that's why the process, you know, that you guys know, that's why I'm so passionate about making sure we have integrity in this space as nutritionists and health professionals. And that's why I personally went to school for 7 years, you know, to get a bachelor's in biology, a bachelor's in psychology, and a master's in human nutrition, so that I made sure, and not to mention a health coach certification program, so that I could be sure to have the skills, the expertise, and the experience that I needed to give my clients sound and safe advice. That's really, really important, right? We never want to tell someone something that could harm their health. So there's just so many red flags to me about the way like nutrition clubs are run, and then the Herbalife coaches that sell their products and sell like quick weight loss, you know. At best, people have just maybe wasted their money and lost some weight that they're going to gain back, our typical yo-yo diet cycle. At worst, someone is potentially, you know, losing weight in a harmful way. They're potentially consuming products that might be damaging their body. They might lose the weight too quickly. You know, for some people who are diabetic and go on really low calorie diets, that can be really harmful for your blood sugar. You know, put you into a state of a diabetic emergency. Like, there are just so many factors that we have to consider when we're dealing with people's health and well-being. And that's why I'm so cautious around it. So all of this to say, I think if you're looking for weight loss, always a sustainable approach where you're improving your healthy habits, and specifically for weight loss, being in a manageable caloric deficit while eating a really nutritious and well-balanced diet that still is satisfying, is going to be the best thing for you. I don't think a line of products is really what's going to do it. And I mean, anyone can lose weight eating anything. It's just a matter of how much of it are you eating. So if your daily caloric needs are 2,000 calories a day, and you go on an Herbalife diet where you're eating 1,500 calories a day, you're definitely going to lose weight, right? And especially if you go on one that's 1,000 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. Are you going to be able to keep it off? Probably not. And also, what's the likelihood that you're going to want to keep eating shakes and teas and like drinks for the rest of your life? I don't think so. Our bodies are way smarter than that. They adapt. If you go on a really low calorie diet, your body will eventually metabolically adapt, because it does not keep burning as many calories if you're not giving it enough food. So all of that to say, I think we can say Herbalife is not as bad as Optavia, because people have literally, you guys would not believe the horror stories I've heard about Optavia and talk about a low calorie diet. Herbalife focuses more on the products. But I still really do not support the way Herbalife coaches are, you know, giving people health and wellness advice with typically no nutrition or health science education, right? So I'm really curious to hear what's your experience been with Herbalife. Do you like the products? Do you support them? Do you not? Why not? There's a couple other things in this video that I didn't talk about when it comes to Herbalife, so I'm curious if we'll get into it in the comments. But I think that's it for today. Let me know what diet I should review next in my Diet Culture Debunked series. I have a couple ideas, but I always want to hear what you guys have to say. As always, if you liked and enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It means the world to me. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to receive a notification, a little email, anytime I upload a new video, you can go ahead and hit the notification bell so you will be informed of those. For now, I think that's it. You can connect with me on Instagram, on TikTok. If you're looking for help in overcoming binge and emotional eating and healing a relationship with food and really creating sustainable habits for life and getting out of this horrible, crazy diet cycle that we just talked about, my program, The Method Healthy Habits for Life, is for you. You can find all the details below. And I think that's it for now. Thanks, you guys. I'll see you next time.